documentary I have to present on is Dreams of a Life. So before we get into the actual film, Amanda spoke about reenactment, so I'll just reinforce what she heard. Reenactment is basically the action of attempting to recreate actions in the past or things that have happened already on screen. So it's often used to provide visuals for audiences and to really form a connection with the person, and in a lot of cases as well to evoke certain feelings and certain moods as you watch something. So Dreams of a Life. Dreams of a Life is basically about a woman named Joyce Carol Vincent who passed away in her apartment and was not found until 3 years after her actual passing. Can't tell you what was more freaky, learning about that or learning that Joyce and I share a birthday.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So she was found surrounded by Christmas presents that she had wrapped. But by the time her remains were discovered 3 years later, they couldn't even perform an autopsy to determine what her actual cause of death was. Unfortunately, not much was known about Joyce. As you can see from that picture there, they didn't even have a picture of her in the paper when they released the article. I think they only mentioned her last name once at the beginning, Joyce Vincent. So if you were a friend of Joyce Vincent and you saw this, you probably wouldn't even know that it was your friend that had died, which in the case of Joyce is what happened. A lot of her friends and ex-co-workers didn't know that she was the one who had died by herself in a flat and was not found until 3 years later. So Carol Morley, our filmmaker, she, with the help of some of Joyce's friends, attempts to piece together Joyce's life and just kind of, yeah. And just, try to reveal the woman behind the tragic story and how it is that somebody could die and nobody knew. So Carol Morley, this is our filmmaker, she was born January 14, 1966 in Stockport, England. She left school at 16 and she formed her Manchester band Tot, but unfortunately for her it never really took off the ground. So instead she went on to pursue a degree in fine art and video and graduated with the first honors degree, which I think is something we'd all like. Okay, so she was inspired to make Dreams of a Life after reading the incredibly big newspaper article about Joyce, and she wanted it to not be about debunking the mystery behind her death, but more celebrating who she was and, kind of commenting on how, urban life and modern life and how we kind of can grow apart from somebody to the extent where we don't keep in touch anymore, and that can lead to something as lonely as poor Joyce dying by herself. So she investigated Joyce's life for 5 years before the film was released in 2011. She found out about it in 2006 when they found Joyce's body, and she started her research then. According to Joyce's sisters, even though we don't hear from them in the film, she did a better job than a private investigator they hired to find Joyce.
Oh, so there was a missing person?
Yeah, they hired a private investigator to find her, but I guess he wasn't very good at his job because he...
So what, did they go to her apartment to find her?
Well, according to them, Joyce, she just kind of stopped talking to them, and nobody really knew where she was, or she didn't pass on a telephone number or an address or anything where they could contact her. So one of Carol's other documentaries, one of her first ones actually, was The Alcohol Years, which is an autobiographical documentary where she kind of tries to figure out what on earth happened during her teenage years, where she was very she was a partier, so a lot of her memories from that time are really hazy. So with the help of her friends, she tries to figure out what on earth happened. But just like Dreams of a Life, it's more than just what happened to Carol. It's like a commentary about the life and culture of Manchester in the 80s, just like Dreams of a Life is a commentary about urban life and communication in a big city. So our modes, we have the poetic mode, and as we know, the poetic mode is highly subjective, and it also deals a lot with the filmmaker wanting to evoke certain feelings and emotions in the audience. loneliness is. So in this case, I think Carol really wanted everybody to know, like, to experience that loneliness and isolation that Joyce obviously felt living by herself, and to just kind of comment on how our communication, it seems to be getting better, but it also seems to be getting worse. Like everybody in here, we probably all communicate with each other by like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, but if you like just did a post for a few months, would anybody notice? Would they come check up on you, or would they just assume, oh, she probably just kind of she got a little bored of it, so she came off. And we also have participatory because, of course, Carol interviewed a lot of people as well. All of Joyce's friends and her ex-co-workers, ex-boyfriends, stuff like that. So our themes, we have loneliness or isolation, obviously, urban life and communication. I think Carol said one of the things that drew her to the story was the fact that Joyce was found in front of her television and it was still on. 3 years later and your television is still on, and that kind of, yeah, and that kind of idea, like, again, that we communicate but we don't really communicate. And of course the dissolution of relationships, because all of Joyce's friends were like, oh yeah, you know, she was always kind of secretive. We just figured she probably had another group of friends she preferred to, you know, line with or whatever. And then we also have masks and disguises, and I will show you a clip of that.
Try opening it again.